Nobody thought this day would come. Just 1 week before the season starts, the Dallas Cowboys have traded Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. The move hit like a lightning strike across the league, shaking fans, players, and analysts all at once. The deal itself is massive. Dallas gives up their best player and, in return, gets 2 first-round picks and veteran defensive tackle Kenny Clark. Green Bay not only wins the trade headline, they also hand Parsons a 4-year contract worth $188 million, with $136 million guaranteed. This is not just a big contract, it's a message. The Packers are done waiting for tomorrow, they are going all in right now. Micah Parsons is 26, in his prime, and one of the few defenders who can completely change a game. Now, he belongs to Green Bay. The Cowboys? They lose the player their fans trusted most. A defense built around Parsons is suddenly gone, and the timing could not be worse. That's why the reaction around the league, and especially in Dallas, has been total chaos. And that's where we go next. The reaction from Cowboys fans was instant and brutal. Live streams crashed, timelines filled with anger, and the disbelief spread across social media in minutes. For a fan base that believed Parsons was untouchable, this felt like a punch in the gut. Jerry Jones is now the main target. Supporters are calling him out for promising Parsons was the future, only to ship him off days before the season begins. The sense of betrayal runs deep, and many believe this could go down as one of the worst decisions in team history. Meanwhile, the Packers side is celebrating like it's draft night. Fans in Green Bay see Parsons as the missing piece, the superstar who can finally push them back into real Super Bowl talks. The contrast between the two fan bases couldn't be more dramatic. National media added fuel to the fire. Comparisons are already being made to some of the biggest trades in NFL history, and debate shows are running nonstop on how Dallas could allow this to happen. The shock has turned into a league-wide conversation, and it's only the beginning. For the Packers, money was no obstacle, and that's exactly where the story moves next. How Green Bay dropped a record deal to prove they're all in. The Packers didn't just trade for Parsons, they wrote him a check that reset the market. His new deal pays $47 million per year, the highest number ever given to a defensive player. Numbers like that usually belong to star quarterbacks, but Green Bay decided Parsons was worth it. This type of contract doesn't come without risk. It ties up a huge chunk of cap space and limits flexibility in the future. But when you believe one player can tilt the entire field, you pay the price. Green Bay made that choice, and they made it loud. The message is clear. The Packers aren't waiting to develop, they're aiming to win right now. After years of questions about how aggressive their front office really is, this trade and deal prove they're ready to gamble big. Other teams will feel the ripple effect too. When one star gets record money, the rest of the league starts lining up for their turn. Contracts for elite defenders will only climb from here, but Parsons set the new bar. For Dallas, this spotlight stings even more because while Green Bay spends bold, the Cowboys are left explaining what they actually got back. And that's where the focus turns next. The Cowboys' return package tells a very different story. Kenny Clark, a 30-year-old defensive tackle, is now the most recognizable piece coming back to Dallas. He's a steady veteran, but no longer the dominant force he once was, and fans know that immediately. The 2 first-round picks add some future hope, but draft choices are never guaranteed. Dallas gave away a proven superstar for pieces that may or may not work out. That's why the trade feels so lopsided to so many people following it. Inside the locker room, the shock is just as heavy. Teammates lose not only their best defender, but also their emotional leader. Replacing Parsons with Clark and future rookies is a massive downgrade on the field and in spirit. For Jerry Jones and the front office, the pressure is building. Every draft pick from this trade will now be judged against Parsons' production in Green Bay. If those choices don't hit quickly, the criticism will only get louder. And while Dallas sorts through the damage, the Packers are already planning how Parsons changes their defense from the very first snap. Adding Parsons gives the Packers a defender who can change the game on any play. He's fast, powerful, and disruptive, the kind of player offenses have to plan around every single week. Green Bay hasn't had this level of defensive star power in years. His arrival also makes life easier for the rest of the front seven. Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness will see fewer double teams because Parsons will demand so much attention. That opens lanes and gives their pass rush a new level of balance. Devontae Wyatt now steps into a bigger role with the space Parsons creates. He showed flashes last season, and with blockers focused elsewhere, his production could spike. It's a ripple effect that makes the whole line more dangerous. The linebacker group benefits too. Quay Walker is coming off a strong season, and playing behind Parsons should free him up to move faster and attack more often. It's a setup that could push him into becoming one of the league's breakout defenders. With all these pieces lining up, the Packers' defense suddenly looks far more complete, and the biggest test will be how the secondary reacts to this new frontline pressure. The Packers' secondary was already one of their stronger units, and now it gets even more help. With Parsons pushing quarterbacks into rush throws, the defensive back should see more chances to make plays on the ball. That's a big advantage for a group built on speed and instinct. Xavier McKinney is the steady hand at the back. His range and awareness allow him to clean up mistakes and keep deep threats in check. Adding rookie Javon Bullard into the mix gives Green Bay more flexibility, as he can handle slot coverage and adjust to different looks. On the outside, Keyshawn Nixon and Nate Hobbs bring toughness and experience. Both are physical corners who can press receivers and make offenses earn every yard. Carrington Valentine is also expected to step into a bigger role, giving the team much-needed depth at the position. Even without Jair Alexander, the secondary can thrive in Jeff Hafley's system. His scheme values communication and balance over blitz-heavy pressure, which matches perfectly with the added firepower Parsons provides up front. All of this turns the Packers into a well-rounded unit. And with the defense coming together, the next question becomes how this trade changes the entire NFC North race. The ripple effect of this trade is already being felt across the division. The Lions are still viewed as strong, but losing both coordinators leaves them vulnerable. Stability matters in football, and Detroit suddenly has questions it didn't face a year ago. The Vikings are in a different spot altogether. After a surprising season, they now hand the offense to rookie J.J. McCarthy. Counting on a first-year quarterback to carry a playoff team is always risky, especially coming off an injury. That puts even more pressure on Minnesota. And then there's Green Bay. With a top 10 offense led by Jordan Love and now a defense anchored by Parsons, the Packers look like the most balanced team in the North. They may not be favorites on paper yet, but momentum has clearly swung in their direction. This changes how the rest of the conference views them too. Teams preparing for a division matchup now see the Packers as a real contender, not just a challenger. Parsons' presence alone makes every game plan harder. The trade isn't just about Green Bay gaining a superstar. It's about how the entire division will have to adjust, and that's where the stakes become bigger than one roster move. And from there, the fallout spreads beyond the NFC North. The fallout from this trade is spreading fast. Social media lit up the second the news dropped, with Cowboys fans furious and Packers fans celebrating. Memes, debates, and hot takes are everywhere, and Jerry Jones is taking more criticism than ever before. For Dallas, this move could haunt them for years. Giving away a 26-year-old star in his prime is not something fans forgive easily. If those draft picks don't turn into instant playmakers, the trade will be remembered as one of the franchise's biggest mistakes. On the other side, the Packers now hold all the momentum. Parsons is the type of player who can swing games and maybe even seasons. If Green Bay gets back to the Super Bowl in the next few years, this trade will be viewed as a masterstroke. The legacy of this deal will depend on wins and losses. For Dallas, it could be a collapse that defines an era. For Green Bay, it might be the move that brings another Lombardi trophy home. One thing is certain, the NFL won't forget this trade anytime soon, and the story of Micah Parsons in Green Bay is only just beginning. Blessings to all my Red Zone Report subscriber family. Your support means everything. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and I'll catch you in the next one.